Hello everybody and welcome to another pomade review. The pomade that we're going to be looking at today is Toar and Roby's Heavy Duty. So previously in the past I've looked at Toar and Roby's Original and Executive Slick. You can check those out right here. And the Heavy Duty is obviously the heavy from the line. And I've noticed has, as far as the overall performance of the pomade as a heavy pomade in and of itself is a good pomade compared to the original, which had quite a bit of problems with it. And the Executive Slick, as I saw, was a overall good light pomade. This is an overall good heavy pomade. So let's get into it. So same as the others in the Toar and Roby line, it has that same white color, and the scent is the same kind of floral, somewhat soapy scent, which is similar to the original, but this one I do feel is a little bit sweeter, so just tiniest bit sweeter, but definitely a good scent. So I'm going to show you how it scoops. Definitely you have to put quite a bit of pressure in there, but that is what we would expect from a heavy pomade. And I'm going to go with smaller scoops because yesterday I applied with really large scoops and it hurt quite a bit. So spreads in the hands with just a bit of clumpiness, but it's definitely the clumpiness we would expect from a wax heavy pomade, which this pomade is extremely waxy. So through the application, I've noticed what this is comparable to and somewhat similar to is the High Life pomades, where they are extremely waxy. But the scent, once it's in your hair and it's actually applied, it really goes away, much like the other Toar and Roby pomades, where the scent is very light and it does go away. So you don't need a whole lot with this pomade because it does go a long way. So I'm going to put my last scoop in here. But yeah, the application is very similar to what you could see in a very high wax content pomade. Alright, now I'm going to get to slicking my hair back. It does have quite a bit of tension to it because of the high wax content, as I've said before. But definitely what's odd to me is the slicking back for this pomade is somewhat what was expected because of the heavy hold that you get, and you get very nice heavy hold with this pomade. But with the original, it was this same exact kind of tension and pulling with the application, but only a medium hold, which really was not my favorite kind of thing. It really was not worth it. So anyway, I'm going to get to forming my part. And because of the high wax content in this pomade, it does not have a great stickiness to it. So a lot of the hairs will stick up, but that is to be expected from a high wax content pomade. But in other aspects of this, it is good. It definitely does its job very well. So I'm going to get to forming my Pompadour, and I get very tall, very nice height, which once again is pretty orthodox, pretty standard to what we would see in a high wax content pomade. I feel like I've said that so many times. But anyway. So, with this pomade, I have noticed that when I let it sit in my hair for a little bit, and then I will kind of tweak it later, the appearance does come out quite a bit nicer. So for right now, I'm just going to get my hair looking kind of content with it, and then I'll go ahead and do the final verdict for this. So I'm just going to tweak it a little bit so it looks presentable right now. That's just good enough for me. Alright, so final verdict on Toar and Roby's Heavy. It is a huge, huge step up from the original. And I feel like as far as the overall performance of it, with this being a heavy pomade, it will be on par with something like the performance of the Executive Slick. But once again, as I said with the Executive Slick, is it enormously different than something we have over here in the States? Not really, but a pomade in and of itself, it is very, very good and does itself a lot more justice than the original. And it gives, and yesterday I had a fantastic hair day. My hair looked really, really good with this stuff in it. And at the end of the day, that's what matters, if your hair looks good or it doesn't. So it made my hair look really good, and that really is all that matters. But shine is quite low, but standard to what you'd see in a heavy pomade. And the buildup is quite clean, actually. Was not expecting a clean buildup with this pomade, considering it was so waxy. It had pretty clean buildup, and when I washed it out, it didn't stay as stiff as a normal heavy pomade usually does. But I'd have to say, if you're going to order any of the Toar and Roby line, any of the Toar and Roby pomades, I would recommend either the heavy or the Executive Slick. So there you have it. That is my very first full line from Indonesia, all reviewed. So there you have it. Toar and Roby, heavy duty.